Good Monday morning.
Good Monday morning.
Welcome to Parenting Versus
Podcast. It's weird having you here, but it's nice.
Yeah. So, is this recording? Okay, yeah.
Is this thing on? Check.
Mm-hmm. It's Monday morning. I took the day off. One of my family members passed away, so we're doing a memorial.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So here we are.
Here we are.
But so how are you feeling after the 7-year-old birthday party extravaganza yesterday?
Yeah, it's crazy. There are toys everywhere. T-Rexes and
running amok.
And what's the black dinosaur? Indoraptors and
Carnotauruses.
Carnotauri. Yeah. I said Sarcosuchus, but Luke corrected me. He's like, no, a Sarcosuchus is a giant alligator. I'm like, okay. Or crocodile. I don't know.
Yeah, isn't it awesome when your 7-year-old knows more about prehistoric life than you do, and you're like, oh, my bad.
So when I was a kid, I loved dinosaurs, but I could not name half of the dinosaurs he knows.
Yeah.
So there was a kid I used to. He wasn't really my friend, but I wanted to be his friend. I think it was kind of funny. Like I wanted to be the friend of the nerds. What's that?
Our music is still playing over there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it off. I wanted to be the friends with the nerds, and sometimes I wasn't like nerdy enough to be friends with the nerds. I was always like in the middle of genres or cliques or whatever. Anyways, this kid in the 5th grade, his name was Lauren. I remember that. He was into dinosaurs, and he could name all the dinosaurs, like not all of them, but he could name a lot of dinosaurs. And I remember that was like so cool.
Did he correct you when you got him wrong?
No, I just...
Like, actually, that's a Carnotaurus, Lorenzo.
He would actually bring Jurassic Park toys to school. Because at the time it was Jurassic Park, not Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Obviously. But anyways, that's Luke. He knows all the dinosaurs.
Yeah. He's all about that. And his little friends, too. And your little friends, too.
And yesterday was exhausting.
We had a birthday party at our house for our son who just turned 7. And that was the first time I think we've ever had a party and like everybody RSVP'd and showed up. Like I did not think everybody was going to make it because this is a weird time of year. It's like after spring break, it's like before Easter, people are kind of traveling. They just have other stuff they're doing. Mm-hmm. But everybody came. Mm-hmm. And not just everybody, like extra people. And then like, you know, parents were like, oh, do you want us to stay? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, you can if you want. So then we ended up like grilling in the backyard, which was fun. But there were kids everywhere. And our neighbor behind us that I've never met
was meet him?
Like, I introduced myself.
What did you say?
Oh, I just said, hey, thanks for putting up with the mayhem that is happening over here. Mm-hmm. I was like, it's a birthday party. We'll be done, you know, so you can sleep peacefully.
Was he nice about it? Or?
He was cool. He laughed at me. And he's like, oh, it's fine. And then I introduced myself.
He's like, I'm used to your mayhem. It's a daily thing.
I don't know.
Yeah. No.
I've never met them, though, and he was outside, and it was funny because he was, like, doing yard work by the
saw
fence.
him, yeah.
And kind of chuckling to himself as the kids were hitting the piñata. So.
I wonder if he's the one that put the note on our door.
I kind of wonder, too. I was actually thinking about that. I'm like, interesting.
So.
But.
What did the note say?
I don't care what the note said. I put that way in the back of my mind. His name's David.
Oh, okay.
He's nice. As far as I know.
All right, cool. It's awesome. Yeah, so parties at the house, I mean, it was cool. Mm-hmm. You never know what to do as a parent, though. Like, with Luke, he's gone to, I think, one birthday party from his class.
I think a lot of his friends... She wants juice. You are a juice junkie, lady.
They both want juice. Pause, you think? Should we pause?
Yeah, I guess. Here we are.
I'll be back.
I want you.
I heard.
Okay, we're back. So birthday parties, they are
Insane.
They're insane. Honestly, though, I know we disagree on this,
Yeah.
but I liked that better than like Peter Piper's or Chuck E. Cheese.
I think there's pros and cons to both.
Yeah.
I think for me, just in our family, like, I don't mind having them here. It's just that our 3 kids have birthdays literally like a month apart for the next 3 months. So, like, it gets a little bit exhausting having parties, like birthday parties here all the time. So I kind of want a break in that. Like, and the nice thing about places like Chuck E. Cheese or Peter Piper's, although they're loud and obnoxious, is that you don't have to clean it up. Like, you show up, you do your thing, you leave. And it's like, okay, cool, done. And like the kids are safe, they can entertain themselves. You kind of get to just kick back and be like, all right, we're good.
I'm completely stressed out by that situation.
Really?
Like
I'm not at all.
On multiple like levels. Like it just I leave a Chuck E. Cheese or a Peter Piper's feeling like this was not fun. This is awful.
Not for you.
I feel stressed out and like I just don't like it whatsoever.
I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to gauge because you want to do stuff at home, but then again, like you have people running around your house. Our house was trashed yesterday.
Yeah. See, that's
The preparation to going into having a party, like I felt completely worn out the other day. I was running around all day on Saturday, like getting everything ready, and it still wasn't enough time.
yeah. It's cool having people over though. I like hosting. And now we have multiple speakers.
Next time you can be in charge of all the decorations and all the food and all the setup because it was a lot.
What we should do is keep some of these decorations and then use them for the next party.
I know. That's the
Well,
plan.
we kept the happy birthday thing, which is cool. So maybe
Which I got for 40 cents, mind you. I'm so proud of myself.
There you go.
I was like, 40 cents, I'll take it.
I liked having the parents over. Like it was cool. It takes a little bit of social courage, I guess, to stick around for a party. So Luke had one birthday party that he went to.
Yeah.
And I was unsure about like what the deal was. Like, do I stick around?
I
Like,
had parents ask me that.
Yeah. I asked the guy, and he's like, "Yeah, you can leave him. You can stay. Whatever you want to do. We have plenty of hot dogs, hamburgers. Like, you're more than welcome to stay." So I was like, you know what? I am gonna drop him off. And I think I went. I went and had a beer.
Nice. No, one of the dads yesterday was like, I got some stuff to do. I was like, it's cool, man. Like, we'll see you in 2 hours. He was like, okay, awesome. Like, he was totally stressed out. I could tell. He was really nervous.
That's cool.
But there was a few dads that hung out and moms, and
Yeah.
that was nice getting to know some of our kids, like friends' parents. Mm-hmm. You know?
And Luke has a little friend who's across the street.
Yeah.
He loves him.
I know. He always talks about him.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is his friend across the street knew some of the other kids from different things.
Really?
Yeah. One of the kids that was at the party yesterday was in the friend across the street's class in kindergarten. So they knew each other and they were friends at a different school in kindergarten.
Okay. That's cool.
And the other one knew him from karate at the JCC.
Oh.
So it was like the same crew of dudes.
Oh, nice.
Little boys.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So they all kind of knew each other.
Yeah. So it was mayhem for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then some people just hung out and they just didn't leave. Like I think it was our family.
We're like, it's over, guys. The party's over.
But house was trashed. It was so funny to me though, like the boys, like how they were interacting. I was talking to this.
The way they played.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So they were screaming at the top of their lungs, running, going around like just mayhem. And then Juliet, and then my cousin's daughter, I think Kim was explaining this to us. It's second cousin twice removed or something like that. I have no idea.
It's complicated.
So my cousin's daughter, and then who else? Millie.
Yeah, all the little girls.
All the little girls
there.
were in Juliet's room.
Playing
with the dolls. They're really sweet. They're like,
would you like some tea? Yes, I would. They're
playing
quiet.
like cash register. Like they're very quiet and peaceful.
Self-contained.
I'm like, I cannot wait for Juliet's party because like that is going to be awesome.
Enjoy that now because when they're teenagers and they want to have like sleepovers, it's going to be giggling and loud talking and oh my god and drama. It's going to be loud when they're preteens.
Yeah.
Girls get louder when they get older and obnoxious, like giggle.
Yeah.
And, you know.
But another thing that's kind of blowing my mind is our son is 7.
I know. He looks like he's walking on stilts. He's tall and skinny.
It was kind of funny too. Like he came in to our room and like, so he's wearing that hoodie and he's wearing shorts. The hoodie's long, like where it's almost down to the shorts.
Yeah.
And he's got this long, skinny white legs.
There's like chicken legs.
I'm like, you look like a flamingo, son. It's such an awkward age, like second grade.
I know.
Like all your teeth are missing. Like you have like disproportionately long legs.
You look like you've been riding the rails for a few months.
Yeah, it's like, get it together,
Life's
son.
been rough for you, man. It's so funny though, because that kid, like, he eats and eats and eats and eats and eats and eats, and he's
Does he though?
Yes, he's a snacker. Like during the day, he's like, "I'm hungry. Can I have a snack?" And I'm like, "Okay." And he's not like, he doesn't eat just a bunch of junk food either. Like he'll be like, "Can I have a piece of bread?" I'm like, "Okay." Can I have an apple? Sure. And like he just,
I'm cool if they eat it. Here's the one thing that kind of really bothers me is the straight volume of food in our house that is thrown away. Like, if I were to guess a percentage, I would say 80% of the food that we buy is just thrown in the trash.
No.
I think it's that much. Like, I throw away bowls full of food.
Well, then you need to be doing some shopping differently because I feed them all day long.
No, it's fine. It's
so much.
I'm not saying it's anybody's fault. I'm just saying like that's the way it is.
I
Like
didn't take it that way.
I throw away tons of food. Like not tons, but like huge volumes of food. So I'm like, I don't know. I have a problem with that.
We throw away a lot, but the kids also eat a lot. Like if I buy snacks, they're gone in 2 days.
Right.
That's why I hate buying like fruit snacks or like things that they just like want to eat constantly.
You know what the worst is? Bananas.
Oh yeah. Bananas.
They always ask for a banana.
Banana.
They always ask for bananas. They take maybe like the smallest little nibble out of the banana and then it rots.
What are you eating? What are you eating?
It's food. Don't worry.
Is it?
Yes, it's food.
But what is it?
I don't know.
Open your mouth. Juju, what are you eating?
She's eating food.
But you don't even know what it is. What if it's not food? What if it's cockroaches or something?
Here, let's go in there, Juju.
I'm a human lounge
I
chair.
will unicorns.
Something about unicorns.
Eating the unicorns?
I'm eating unicorns. And this is where the drama begins. She's reaching out for me and like shrieking like we're being taken on some long voyage and we're never going to see each other again. But I don't even know. Oh, so we're just unwinding from that crazy 7-year-old birthday party. It was chaos for a good 2 hours straight. But here we are. We made it. And we've survived. So the thing I'm bummed about, though, is like we wanted to watch Game of Thrones last night because it was the premiere. And we didn't get to. We missed it. So I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of spoilers like everywhere. And I haven't even seen it yet. And I'm like, son of a bitch. But yeah. Oh, I can't believe it's Monday. It just feels like the weekend went super fast. But I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a good week. Easter's coming up. Lorenzo took today off and then he has Friday off too. So he has a 3-day work week, which is pretty great. And we are going to Portland soon. So that's exciting. I don't know. There's a lot coming up. Easter, you have a 3-day work week. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of a slacker this week.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so that's kind of annoying about the movie, how it's recorded with the commercials. Yeah. Like, and the commercial happens and they come in here.
Yeah.
That's how I know. Like, when she's in here, it's a commercial.
I know.
But,
I'm sad we missed Game of Thrones.
Yeah. I was thinking about that last night.
I lie awake in bed thinking.
So I want to watch Game of Thrones, but the person that we were borrowing the HBO Go code for canceled his. It was John, our buddy John.
Yeah, John.
Thanks,
Not to
John.
call you
Thanks
out or
a lot.
anything, John.
No, he canceled his
Garcia.
They had Dish, I think, or DirecTV, one of the things. But it was getting crazy expensive for them, so they canceled it. So I'm not like mad or anything, but we were borrowing their HBO Go password. Now we don't have an HBO Go password, so what do? Well, I can look online to see if there's any under the radar streaming services, which there are.
Ooh.
Or I could just go the legit route and get like actual 4K quality and like on demand, like stream it with. So there's a couple of options you can do. I was researching it last night.
Okay.
You can do the HBO Now, which is $15 a month.
Do we need to do this on the podcast?
No, this isn't like yes.
Okay.
It's $15 a month.
We're not getting paid for this, by the way.
It's $15 a month for HBO Now. $14.99. And they do like a week trial or whatever.
I feel like we need to start charging people like money or have like a GoFundMe so we can pay for our HBO via the podcast. We're like, help us. We're parents. We need HBO, guys.
No, we have so many streaming services.
Stupid.
But the other option is an add-on with Hulu, so you don't have to download an extra app. It's just like in Hulu. Mm-hmm. And that's the same price. It's $15 a month.
We already have
so I'm thinking
Hulu, so.
Yeah, we pay for Hulu. We hardly ever use Hulu.
I use it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. But I'm like thinking of the streaming services we already pay for. So we have YouTube TV, which they're jacking up the price. Did you hear about that?
No.
So yeah, they're bumping up the price because they're giving us Discovery and TLC and Travel Channel. Like they're adding some channels, but they're also bumping up the price.
The channels are good though. I like all
those new channels. I'm glad they finally added them.
Yeah.
So they added some channels, and that's the price. We don't pay for Netflix, thankfully.
Yeah, that's true.
Steal that from my brother. Hulu, and then Google Play Music, which.
Hi, crazy lady. Is
it a commercial?
Do you want a parenting pause for a minute?
Do we need to?
I think we should.
Okay.
We can put on something
Pause.
different.
Hey, we're back.
We're back.
You're looking through a book. I forgot what we were talking about.
I was looking through a Portland book, but it was a book published in like the early 90s, so it's like the Portland I grew up in. It's changed a lot since, but I was just like, oh, little time capsule reminds me of what it looked like when I was a kid. Sorry, just taking a moment to myself.
That's okay. Drinking your coffee.
Dreaming of Portland, yeah.
It's kind of nice sitting here, and our house is clean, by the way. I don't know if we mentioned that.
We cleaned it.
We cleaned it last night.
We do clean.
So after the party, I just wanted to lay down. I was like, I don't care if our house is clean. But then, like, after a while, I'm like, I cannot live in this filth. I have to vacuum. I have to, like, get this place. You know what I mean? Like, I can't. I don't feel comfortable if there's crap everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you. I was like that too, and I was like, I'm just gonna watch the Hunger Games, and I just like threw on the Hunger Games because that was what came up, and I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
Then I realized that it was probably not the best thing to be watching around my kids. I'm like, yeah, all these people are gonna die. They're all gonna kill each other.
Right.
Like, great movie for a family to watch after a birthday party.
Right. It is a good movie though. I enjoy it.
You know, I remember listening to the whole series on Audible when I was pregnant with Luke, and then we saw the movie in the theaters when it came out right before Luke was born.
Yeah.
So we went, that was like our last date, I think.
Yeah.
And it's funny because after I started watching that, I started remembering all these things about like when Luke was born. Like I remember laying in the bathtub in our old house downtown being really pregnant and like feeling him kick and listening to the Hunger Games like while I was soaking in the bath.
I remember that. You were borrowing it from one of your friends.
Kaya.
Julie. Oh, was it? I thought it was Julie.
Maybe it was Julie. I don't
It was
remember.
Julie that you were borrowing it from.
Anyway, but yeah, I was borrowing Audible to listen to the Hunger Games, and I remember us going and seeing it downtown at the theater right before he was born. And like, I remember us like kind of, that was sort of like what was out at the time. So it's just sort of funny because it was like, I think subconsciously I picked that movie without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
But then it was like, oh, that makes sense.
I kind of like those films that are in is it dystopian? Is that
Dystopian. Yeah.
like they're in a crisis, some like global crisis, and there's like
Yeah.
a problem, and it's kind of sci-fi. You know what I mean? I like those.
I like those too.
movies.
I kind of like yesterday decided I wanted to watch the whole series again.
Well,
The books were like
we
pretty
have it all.
basic, but the storyline is pretty good.
Yeah,
Like,
that's why it's popular.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just really enjoy them. And they crammed a lot into the movies, like from the books without having to like over narrate it. If that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah, so it was good.
So, Hunger Games, all right. I also happen to really like Woody Harrelson. He's like one of those actors that is just like weird as shit. And I love that about him. Like, he picks really good characters most of the time.
I agree.
So I like to watch his acting because it's always really like,
Zombieland.
yeah. It's funny. We just watched that the other night too. And like, yeah, Woody Harrelson. There you go.
Yep.
I feel like we might be kindred spirits.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my week last week. So I don't think it all came out. So I get these. This week there were some events that just kind of like really they were really heavy on me, I guess, and like weighing me down, and like somebody's doing something over there. Oh, they're going to the garage. No, it wasn't. He wants to play outside.
He's going to get dirty and we have a memorial to go to.
Are those the clothes he's going to wear?
No, that's his pajamas.
That's fine then.
Okay.
Riley, do you want to go outside? Okay.
The boy wants to go outside. So yeah.
I want to keep talking about
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just, yeah, you can. Oh my gosh, this kid is nuts. Are you okay, buddy? This guy is like gonna be 4. He's the next one with a birthday, and he is huge. Like, he's huge. Everyone's like, oh, is he 6? I'm like, no, he's gonna be 4.
Oh, you're a teenager. He can talk so well. No, he's not a teenager.
He's just
Yeah,
really
so
big.
it's just been a heavy week, just for a lot of reasons. I've been telling you a lot. Like, teaching is getting harder and harder for me to be like there. I picked up extra responsibilities, and that might be part of it.
Yeah, you mentioned
but
that
just
in the last podcast, I think.
just kind of trying to be around these kids. I mean, I am around the kids, but I'm trying to offer support and offer. I'm gonna pause because I wanted to talk about this, but it's hard when the son's around here. So I'm gonna pause.
Sure.
Okay, back.
Is that new?
No, it's just a song we haven't ever played from Jeff.
That's really nice.
All of the music is Jeff from Evron because that's just what we do.
He's the shit. He's our friend.
And he's at Coachella right now.
He is at Coachella, that bastard.
That bastard.
That bastard.
Yeah. So it's just been a hard week. Like I've been dealt with a lot of just realities, and I feel like I'm not big enough, and I'm not big enough to solve these problems. I am at a Title I school where I think 90% of the kids that are at our school are living in poverty. And it's just seeing these issues that these kids face with, and it's like a cluelessness of like what functionality or functional life is, and like I'm trying to teach these kids like how to be a respectful human being with morals, and it's just not there. I don't know. It's like my efforts are,
Well,
they're not going anywhere. You know what I mean?
right. Well, they've already missed out on the fundamental building blocks of like normal functional life.
Right.
Because of their home situations and poverty and
Mm-hmm.
living in those poverty and dysfunctional situations outside of school. And so you're having to backtrack and teach them things that
Right.
a lot of kids that are privileged or have good parents or a good social situation, like they naturally already have.
Right.
And that's hard.
It's really hard. Like the other day, I was trying to explain to the kids, just basic moral behavior, and it was not clicking whatsoever. I'm also in a special ed classroom. Most of my kids have a disability called SLD, specific learning disabled. They test just below average, and they need a little bit of extra support, and that's where they are. Honestly, I feel after teaching an SLD classroom for, is it my second year or third? Third. Wow, it's my third. Crazy. Is that a lot of these disabilities didn't have to be there. Like a lot of these kids, if they were,
Even if their parents read
and
to
I'm not,
them.
I'm not like I don't want to blame anybody because it's a cycle too. And we talk about how
Right.
it's like a poverty cycle. Like
Right.
their parents were probably in an SLD classroom at Highland too, or some other part of the
But think about
country.
that poverty cycle. I mean, think about how it affects families. Like, I know you don't have to think about it because you see it every
you're just
day.
stuck.
Well, but it's like you have a poor family, maybe there's not two parents there. So you have a single parent family, multiple children. Mom or dad is working 2, 3, 4 jobs. They're never home. They're not there to provide those things for that child. So that child grows up without those building blocks, and then they go, and because they don't have that supervision or support, they have a child early, they get into some situations. Their kids don't have those building blocks because they're out working to provide. It's a cyclical situation.
So I'm with these kids every day, and I love these kids. Like they're my students, and I see them every day, and I try to build relationships. And some of the kids are really trying hard, and they're really doing great. Some of the kids have behaviors like they don't know how to behave when they're around their peers,
Self-control.
and sometimes they're disrespectful to teachers. Sometimes a lot of times they get in trouble, and basic like social etiquette is not it's not there, and it's not their fault.
I'm sorry.
Anyways, like, okay, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
I forgot what the thought was. Go ahead.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
No, I was going to say part of that poverty cycle and that poverty mentality, and the reason they probably don't have a lot of self-control or social etiquette too, is because people that are growing up in a poverty cycle, they're taught to live moment to moment. They're not taught to plan ahead or think long term or even consider or think about consequences. You know what I mean? They're just trying to survive. So they're thinking about like, what am I going to do right now that's going to make me feel happy? Not like, am I going to regret this decision next week?
I don't blame them though.
No, it's not their fault.
Even in the middle class, I don't even know. I think we're like kind of middle class, I guess. We do the same exact thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But-
brewery sounds good right now. Should I pay off a credit card? Nah, I'm not going to pay off a credit card. I'm going to put more on my credit card. Like, we do the same thing.
We do in a certain respect, but there are also differences. Like,
We get our tax return. Do we pay off bills?
well, we
no. Well, we pay off a bill, and then like we jump around and like spend more. You know what I mean? So like
I don't want to like talk about our finances on a podcast.
no, we don't have to. But like
That's super rude.
I think that's human nature. Like when you have a little bit of freedom, like financial freedom. So a bunch of my kids on like last month said, "Mister, I'm not going to be at school tomorrow." I'm like, okay, why not? My mom's getting her tax return back, so they took the day off to do whatever. I don't know what they did. They probably went out to eat or went to go buy iPhones or whatever. I don't know. So I don't know. It's been really. I feel like beat down a little bit because I can't solve that, and a lot of the teachers around me are feeling the same way. Like we can't solve this. but we're trying, like we're trying to play the role of teacher and parent and guidance counselor and all this other stuff, and it's just, it weighs down on you. And then on Tuesday, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, I was going into an IEP, and then one of the teachers told me, and she was like really distraught. I'm like, hey, what's wrong? And she's like, so one of our students was shot last night. I'm like, okay, what student was it? And she told me the name, and I started bouncing the name around in my head. I'm like, oh man, like I had that student last year, like all year. And I'm just thinking about like he's in this, but he's trying to be involved. He's like he was in football. I don't want to say was, like he was critically injured, and I don't know the result.
It's not looking good from what they said. It's
they told me
internal bleeding and
yeah, and I'm just like, I couldn't stop thinking about him like that whole week, and just this crap that we're in, and I as a city.
I think the frustration is that it's stupid and it could have been prevented.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the question is how? How do you get to that point, you know?
Yeah.
I know that this is not quite the same, but when I worked at YDDC, the Juvenile Detention Center, my friend Julie had a student, and he was a student of hers for 2 years. Young kid. He was probably the youngest in the class, actually. Mm-hmm. He paroled out, he got out, and then a month later he was dead from a drug overdose, accidental. But it's like, this kid was like 15, you know? Like 15 years old. And we all knew him. Yeah. And it was just like, how could that have been prevented? Because I feel like the system set him up to fail. It was like, we're going to keep you as a young child in jail, and then we're going to put you back out in the family that you came from, in the streets that you came from, with the same problems that you came here with, and we're going to expect you to do differently.
Right.
Like, how does that work? It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't work.
And it's something that I'm feeling like in my soul. That sounds weird, but like I'm feeling like the hurt of our city. Mm-hmm. And like that's just one thing, but I keep track of the local news on one of the news apps, and almost every day it's like there's a shooting over here, Southwest Albuquerque, Southeast Albuquerque, road rage. Like last month, people were pulling guns on each other like in the road.
There's like 5 road rage incidents in like a month.
So for a long time, I had this denial mentality about Albuquerque because it's my home, and like I don't like hearing about the bad news. So my go-to was like, oh, that's every city has this, and it's okay, and all this other stuff. And I'm like, this week I'm thinking, no, there's something wrong.
It's a citywide problem. It's It's a citywide mentality that needs to change.
There's something wrong. Like people are shooting each other, and child abuse. There's like so much child abuse, and it's just been weighing down on me this week. And we've talked about on our podcast too, but like my go-to, well, I have 2 steps. I'm like, well, maybe like I want to be part of something that's better in our city. Mm-hmm. And then the part of me is like, I just want to get out. So
I think a lot of people struggle with that.
And that's just where I've been. Like, I can't get out. Like I have my parents, your parents are here.
But the thing is, if you don't get out and you don't leave, you can't become complacent.
No, you can't.
And some people do.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And I don't know, it's just been emotionally like a weird week. And I don't even know if I've told you that, but like my brother got a better job, and he's moving to Dallas, which, I mean, I've always had this weird thought of Dallas and Texas like all together. I'm like, I don't like Texas, but Dallas is a big city, 7 million people, metro, 7 million people. And my brother, like, I'm super excited. I'm happy for him to get out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm happy for him. And then part of me, I'm like, I kind of want some of that for myself. Like how exciting would that be to have that sort of opportunity? Mm-hmm. But I mean, I have to do better with where I'm at. Like I can't get up and move. I don't have job offers. I don't have like any of that. But anyways, that's kind of been my thought. So what's the matter?
Nothing. I was watching a bird outside.
Oh.
I wasn't.
So
no, I understand the feelings. I know that it's not quite the same, but like, so my background is case management and social services, and so like And I don't do that anymore. I say that, although I probably will end up doing that at some point, like again, because I always say that, like, oh, I'm not going back to case management, and then I do. But I do understand that. It wears on you emotionally and mentally when you see the worst a city has to offer all the time, and you see the worst situations and people just behaving badly. And like, I think about police officers in this town, and I feel so bad for them because they see horrendous things. And I'm not saying they don't see horrendous things all over the country, but I feel like Albuquerque is a special kind of terrible. And I know for me, like, part of the reason I had to leave case management was like, it was causing me like severe like depression and anxiety because you're seeing the worst and you're seeing these things and it doesn't get better. Like when you think you can handle it, something happens and it gets worse. And I know that that's kind of a fatalist attitude, but like, you know, I remember like speaking up at a meeting with the county, and we had a certain client, and she was about to be released from the parole board, and she had a drug problem. And my partner and I, who's also a case manager at the time, we were like, this person's not ready to be on their own. Like, we can't do this. Like, in good conscience, we cannot put her by herself. This is dangerous. It's dangerous for her. It's dangerous for other people. It's not a good idea. And the county, like politics and money, you know, it was like, well, the county needs to show that we're doing something to reduce recidivism, and we need to do this, and we're going to release her, and, you know, you guys are going to be the program in charge of making sure she gets back on her feet. And I'm like, we are not that program. We're not equipped for that. Like, you're wet and cold. Okay.
You can stay here.
You know, and I'm like, this is not the program for her. I'm not trying to be difficult. Like, we just, like, in good conscience, we can't take care of the needs that she has. It would be irresponsible for us to act like we can do that, you know, just because we want your county government money or whatever. And they didn't listen to us. And a week later, she was found dead in a bathtub, and she had overdosed. And this was against everything we had suggested, everything we had told them, everything we begged for them not to let her out. And they did. And she was dead within a week. And it was so sad, and it was so depressing. She was 26. She had a little boy, you know, and that little boy is probably going to end up being raised by his grandparents. And you know, it irks you because you, even when you feel like you're trying to do the right thing, like, I understand that you feel like you're not equipped or you can't do it.
Yeah. Do you know what's funny too? Sorry, what, did you have more to say about that?
I had a little bit more to say.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
And then a week after that, after this girl passed away, I had to go visit another client of mine. I had to do a home visit, and I was pregnant with my daughter at the time. And this lady had just been released. She had a meth problem. Again, they released her probably prematurely, and she had to go visit her parole officer and do a UA, which is a urine analysis test. And she told me, I did meth this weekend, and I'm going to piss dirty, and they're going to put me back in jail. And I was like, okay, well, thanks for being honest with me about that. Here's the thing. Like, we need to go to your PO and talk to them and explain to them that you were honest with me, and maybe they'll cut you a deal. I don't know, but you have to be honest about it. So I gave her a day to figure out her crap because she had kids, and I wanted to be fair and let her say goodbye to her children, because the reality is she probably was going to go back to jail for violating. And then, so I gave her a day, you know, and that's me trying to show some mercy to somebody. And she took full advantage and just...
She should get wasted?
Oh, she got effed up. And I had to go back to her apartment and find her and basically tell her, like, we're going now. And she wouldn't open the door. We had to search her apartment. She was hiding in the shower. All I saw were like a pair of legs. And I literally thought that she had OD'd in the shower because of the girl the week before. I freaked out. I was pregnant. I was terrified. I called an ambulance. I called the police because she wasn't responding. She wasn't opening the door. You know, they came down. She was super high. She was cussing and threatening me and telling me she was going to kill me and my family and kick my ass and all this crazy stuff. Jeez. You know, and the officers were like dragging her out, and she's like, I'm going to find you, bitch. And I'm like, okay, I think I'm done now. Like, it's traumatic. Yeah. It's hard. there comes a point where as a human being, you're like, I can't take any more of this or I am going to break.
Yeah.
And it's toxic and you bring it home with you.
Yeah.
And so for me, I was like, that is when I was like, I don't think I can do case management like anymore. Like I can't do this anymore.
Right.
Like it's, and I'm not saying that people shouldn't try.
Yeah.
But I think that in this city especially, something does need to change because obviously what we're trying as a city is not working.
You know, I am encouraged a little bit by, so our mayor, not even being like a partisan like politics thing, but our mayor, you could tell like he has a genuine love for the city, and he's rubbing off on a lot of people, I think, and there's a lot of really cool programs that are being put in place by the city. More compassion, like for our homeless. Like there's a shelter on the west side that's only open during the winter. They made a decision to keep it open year round, which is good. Like a lot of just people saying like, yeah, we love our city and doing things about it.
Well, it's progressive thinking. If you can't think progressively as a city, you're not going to progress. Like, you have to think progressively or you're not going to change. You're going to stay the same.
I was also really encouraged going to it sounds weird, but the New Mexico United soccer game. They packed out the Ice Tips Park. So it was like 12,000 people. And just kind of talking to some of the people there, it was a different crowd. People I have not seen in a common place like that ever in Albuquerque.
The name though is like a good common goal. Is like united.
Yeah, that's a
good strategy.
Yeah, a lot of soccer teams are united. Like there's like Manchester United or DC United.
But that like instigates a sense of camaraderie,
right.
And I think Albuquerque needs
and
that.
And that's their slogan is we are united in English on one side and then somos unidos on the other side. Like we're united, like all of New Mexico. But just talking to some of the people, like we were having conversations, just random people. And they were just really nice and friendly. I went to go buy a beer, and I was in a line for the beer, and I was like, man, I don't know if they take cards here. And like the guy in front of me overheard me. He's like, hey, I was looking for a reason to break a 20. You want a beer? And I was like, man, are you sure? Like I can go to another line. Like it's all good. He's like, no, I got you a beer. It's cool. And like he had Zia's like, painted on his face, like he was like a super fan.
I love it.
So like there's like these glimmers of hope for Albuquerque, and like
you should have gotten his number and been like, I'll get you back on that beer. Let's go to a Liverpool game or something.
Yeah. Like one of the watch parties or whatever.
The Reds.
For Liverpool. Yeah.
I'm getting their updates now, and it's pretty great.
Yeah. No,
they're like inviting me to all this stuff, and I'm like, I want to go to all of it.
Yeah. They're super stoked about stuff. Yeah. And then they always meet at Star Brothers.
Yeah.
Right by our house, which is really cool.
I love that.
Games are usually pretty early though. That's the thing.
Like I don't
9:30 on a Sunday.
That's perfect. I feel like I love that. I mean, I know this sounds bad, but I would almost rather go to a soccer game on a Sunday morning than a church service.
No, I'm totally with you on that. So,
I'm like, it's nothing against our church. I like our church people, but the thing is, I feel like at this point in my life, I need a minute to just relax during the week and not have like
another thing
to throw on the agenda. It's exhausting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, it's good to see New Mexicans. I almost said you Mexicans.
You Mexicans.
You Mexicans. New Mexicans like uniting and finding something that they have in common instead of something that they have that's different.
How do you feel about like our natural surroundings? It's like high desert. Nothing really grows.
Okay, here's what I feel.
Okay.
Here's how I feel. I think you have to appreciate its beauty for what it is. If you're coming here expecting it to look like Oregon and Washington, you're going to be disappointed because it's not. But if you're coming here and you're like, oh, New Mexico is different. Oh, it's the high desert. Oh, that's really unique. Oh, that's really pretty. You can appreciate it that way. Yeah. You can't compare it to other places because it's not other places. And that's okay. That's one of those things that actually really bugs me is like when people come from like Denver or something and they're like, oh, it's really brown here. I'm like, well, it's not Denver. And we're not trying to be.
Well, even Denver.
So, like, calm the hell down.
Denver doesn't get much more rain than we do. Denver gets a bit more rain than us, but it's still, Denver's pretty dry.
But I'm It was just an example.
No, I got you.
But what I'm saying is you can't come here and be like, oh, this is definitely not like Michigan. I don't like it. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's obviously not going to be like wherever you came from.
Right.
But you need to appreciate it for like what it is. Like people, people like Georgia O'Keeffe, like saw the beauty in what it was and appreciated it for what it was.
Right.
Not for what it should or shouldn't be based on where they came from.
Yeah. It's a lot of just being human. And so here's one thing that is interesting to me about New Mexico. When it rains, people rejoice. Like they are so happy. I'm on Twitter and I follow the hashtag. So it's hashtag NMWX. So it's like weather. And you can tell when it rains, like people start reporting all over the city about what's happening in the city, like as far as like rain. Do you want me to pause?
No, I just don't want him to dump out all those Legos again.
No, Riley, I just put those away, buddy. Oh, okay, I'm gonna pause. Good grief. I'm trying to like gracefully fade out and I pause it. Oh well.
We are not professional.
No, we're not.
We don't care.
So let's be happy.
I'm happy. I'm good.
I know, I'm just like talking about depressing things and I don't want to be depressed.
You know what makes me happy is when our daughter comes in, she's wearing a Beatles sweatshirt, a Beatles shirt.
Yeah. And then she moves with her fingers in her.
Hey, okay, weirdo. It was pretty cute this morning. Our middle son.
I want juice.
What?
I want juice.
She wants juice.
You just had juice, weirdo.
I want juice.
So our son had a guitar, like a Guitar Hero guitar, and he was listening to the Beatles and he was rocking out, and we like walked in quietly and like caught him on video, and he didn't know we were there, and he was like pretending to play the guitar and like and like it was Hey Jude, and he was just like rocking out, and I was like, this is amazing. This is my kid. So that was pretty great to kind of catch that moment. I like when you catch moments like with your kids and it's just like that little spark of joy, in parenthood that you sometimes forget about because it is also exhausting, but there's moments of like joy too. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So he was just kind of like pretending to play and he was dancing around and he was just rocking the Hey Jude, and I was like, this is great. And then Lorenzo went and got his phone and like took a little bit of video, and it was very sweet. But yeah, and then like yesterday too, there was like a little moment of joy too, where our son, we got him this giant T-Rex for his birthday, and we gave it to him yesterday morning so he could play with it. And he opened it and he's like, Mom and Dad, I just love you guys so much. And that was just like a sweet little minute of joy, because he was just like bubbling over with like excitement, I love that.
Yeah. All right. So I think it might be time to wrap.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Not like rap, but like
All
rap.
right. Drop a beat.
No, I'm good.
I'm
okay.
good. I'm all.
No, please stop.
Oh, are you embarrassed?
Yeah, you're like the mom already.
I'm like the mom already.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Like your mom who's trying to be cool and she's trying to teach you about, I don't know, periods.
Oh,
and then she makes a rap out of it.
I hope I can do that someday. You know what else brought me joy yesterday? You were listening to Sabotage by the Beastie Boys.
Mm-hmm.
And Luke was like,
loves that song.
I know. He's like, what is this? And I was like, this is the Beastie Boys, son. He's like, I like it. And I was like, me too, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Me too. This is like my favorite music video of all time. And he was like, Mom, I want more of the Beastie Boys on my tablet. And I was like, you need to ask your dad about that. And that can definitely happen for you.
Ooh, yeah, that's been tough too. He has the tablet, and I set him up with Facebook Messenger Kids, and I wanted it to just have me and you as contacts.
Oh, well.
Because I'm afraid he's going to, like, completely blow up everybody's phone with just random stuff.
He probably will. He's 7.
Yeah. So, anyways,
But
it's like that you're hitting that road. Like, how much technology do I want to give my kid? Like, how much do I keep away?
What am I going to allow, and what am I going to, like, stamp out?
Okay, and that was a big step. Facebook Messenger is, like, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. He also told me
even just having a tablet, I think.
he wanted the Beastie Boys intergalactic poster in his room because I told him I had one in my room in high school. And he's like, I want that in my room. And I was like, God bless you, son.
Should do it.
If I could find it.
Should do it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So, I don't know. I'm just, this week, I think my plan, my goal is to be content and enjoy and appreciate the things that are around me. Like, health is a big deal. Like, you don't know how important health is until you don't have it, right?
Yeah, talk about last week. Puking my guts out for 2 days.
Right. Even, like, serious
Worst.
and, serious illnesses, like, those take a lot out of families. And I'm really grateful that our kids are healthy, and I'm really grateful that we're healthy.
Dude, I wanted to die last week. I was like, take me now, God, this is terrible. And I was just like, yeah, and you forget, like, that when you feel normal, like, that's a good thing. That's a joy.
Yeah.
Don't take it for granted, because you could be...
I don't like going
chronically
going down that road,
What road?
thinking about what could be, you know what I mean? Because there are actual people who are going through that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I do want to pause for a second and just consider, like, me painting over, do I use an Android or an iPhone, or do I buy the HBO Go, or do I not? Like, that is not a big deal. So I am happy, but I also don't want to be complacent. Like, there's, like, a lot of stuff going through my mind, so I'm just going to stop.
I think the point of the week is to find joy, even if it's in something small, and be appreciative of that joy and those things that you're given.
Yeah. Anything new you're listening to as of yesterday?
As of yesterday. I know, we're on a podcast roll. I'm listening to a lot of kids talk at me. I've been listening to Kay Roosevelt.
Oh, you didn't mention him on.
I didn't. No, I forgot. This guy, Kay Roosevelt, it's kind of like hip-hop, trip-hop, but there's this song called Adrenaline. It's incredible. It's definitely repeat worthy, so check it out, Kay Roosevelt, Adrenaline. The whole album's good. It's kind of sexy, but there's a few good tracks on there that are not super sexy.
Really?
Yeah, it's good stuff. Check it out. I like it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think the one new song that's been kind of catching my ear, there's a new single from, what was the band? KG Elephant. They have a new
Yeah, with Beck, right?
Is it with Beck?
It's with Beck, yeah.
I don't think it's with Beck.
It is.
House of Glass.
No, not that song. It's a different one,
Yeah.
but there's a song.
This is put it on the big speaker.
Ooh.
See if it works.
There's a song that they do with Beck, and it's really good too.
Oh, I put it on the wrong speaker. We have so many speakers at our house.
Yeah. KG Elephant is one of those bands where I was like, I don't know, they could either be really good at some point, or they're gonna, like, sell out and be like, Imagine Dragons. But they've actually, God, don't say that name in this house.
Luke loves Imagine Dragons.
I know.
I think every kid
What about
does.
Juju?
But
Juju, you want to dance?
Climb into my corner, myself inflicted coma. Stand up, lay down, repeat in the
She picks up the guitar. I love it.
getting the guitar. So, no, I've been kind of liking this track a
You're
little
a
bit.
straight riot girl. Look at you.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
She was running around with a squirt gun being like, this is my gun. And I was like, oh my gosh.
She's in pew pew pew
Pew pew. I was like, okay, you definitely have brothers.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's it.
Yeah. That is
Unless
all.
there's anything else you wanted to add.
No, have a good week. Happy Easter for those of you that celebrate Easter.
Happy Easters.
Happy Easters.
Everybody else, and if you have kids, enjoy the day off on Friday.
Enjoy the vernal holiday on Friday. That's what the calendar says. I'm
Yeah.
like, what does that even mean? Just call it Good Friday.
I looked it up. Well, yeah. I mean, you can't call it Good Friday because it can't be.
What are we going to call it? Bad Friday?
Well, it can't be. Well, that's kind of weird, though.
It's a religious holiday, and we
It
celebrate
is a religious
other
holiday.
religious holidays. So.
But, yeah, so it's not Christmas break, it's winter break.
Right.
So, I think those are, yeah.
Enjoy the spring solstice and the equinox. I'm just kidding. I have no idea what's happening up there right now
Up where?
in space.
You're not versed on the movement of the stars and the planets?
I am not.
I'm going.
This is my gun.
Okay.
I'm gonna go move to Texas with Uncle Ramon.
Take me with you.
No.
All right. Well, it's been an interesting one. Mm-hmm. I don't know what we're going to call this podcast, but...
I don't know. Beats me.
What's this?
I don't know. Have a good one.
No, you're a buggy.
Riley's a bug.
No.